All right, so this is what I'm bringing to the table that nobody else is bringing to the table. And if you are, I haven't seen you. Okay, I'm sorry. But Andrew Tate, Myron especially, none of y'all are teaching fresh too. None of y'all are teaching sexual discipline. Just pearly things. Where's the sexual discipline discussion for the men? Men need discipline. All this shit we're in, including with the women, is all man's fault. Weak men got us in this position. Okay? Let me give you an example of what I mean, why it's your responsibility, though, to keep her loyal. This is the story of Helen of Troy. I don't see how nobody fucking sees this shit. But you have to make her feelings feel valid. You have to listen to her. Okay? Because if you don't, you're just a tyrant at that point. You're a weak man. You're afraid to listen to her? What the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, so here's what happens. So the powerful king of Sparta, right, in all his glory, is a tyrant because he doesn't listen to anybody, and he certainly doesn't listen to his wife. So at least in her eyes, he's a tyrant, right? So she runs into the arms of a weaker man because he says all the right things. Because he's romantic, and he's sweet, and he's sensitive, and he actually means what he says, right? Problem is, he has no idea how to be a strong man because he's just a little boy, okay? So they run off together, of course. And then, of course, everybody knows what happens after that. They show up at the door of Troy, demanding Helen back, knowing that it's just an excuse, basically, to start the war anyway. And Orlando Bloom comes down there to defend his honor, right? His own honor and his woman's honor. And he fucking almost dies and then bitches out on him, right? So then his brother has to go down there to save him. Because he's a strong man, have to save a weaker man. And then because of one woman who just wasn't listened to and had no discipline because of it, I mean, yeah, she needed a little bit of discipline. She probably should have talked about it or something. I mean, I don't know what the rules were back then. Probably couldn't get a divorce. She seemed a little bit stuck. So she had no real option, I guess. But she should have thought it through, because she ended up getting everybody fucking killed. So there's the lesson there, women. Don't just run off with a guy, you'll get everybody killed. But men, you have to make her stay loyal. And I'm not just saying you demand it, or say, what are you? I'm paying for everything. No. Treat her right. Be sensitive, loving, caring, compassionate. Because if you're not, you're just a tyrant. Okay? Tom Hanks from Saving Private Ryan. Be that type of leader. Be Leonidas from 300. Brad Pitt from Troy. The list goes on. We see them in everything. If you're watching movies and TV and all that shit, you're not actively listening and watching, you're doing it wrong. If you're not learning something from every single thing around you and every single person around you at all times, if you can, you're doing it wrong. That's why you're stupid. That's why you don't know anything. That's why you think that Canada is one of the states, or that Paris is in London. How does that even make sense? What is a country? What do you mean, what is a country? I don't even have to define it. I just know what it is. Canada, United States, Mexico. It's North America, people. Come on. This is all due to lack of discipline. Complete lack of discipline. It's the parents' fault, really. That's why schools get shot up. Sorry if I had to bring that up, but it's weak men's fault. And it's also the fact that we keep telling them that, no, you're perfect just the way you are, while at the same time rejecting them. That is the most confusing freaking thing in the world, and it feels hopeless. That's why they end their lives. That's why they go around and just start shooting shit up, because they find something to blame it on, and then they do it. This has nothing to do with guns, and it barely has anything to do with mental health. What it comes down to is telling them they're perfect, and then we don't give them a boulder to shoulder and push and improve and become great. We just say, your fat, lazy self is perfect, while at the same time, we would never touch you. Do you see the problem? We need to stop doing that. Women, you need to stop doing that to yourselves, too. I don't know if I've ever actually seen a 10 in real life. Maybe a handful of times. I'd have to really look at her again, right? So, women, y'all aren't fucking 10s, all right? I have seen so many girls, and girls, just have some discipline. This is why it's important to be thin, because it shows that you lack discipline. Because I've seen so many girls where it's just like, I'm a 10, or I'm an 8, or even a 7, when it's like, dude, you're a 2. You know why you're a 2? It has nothing to do with your looks, sweetheart. It has to do with the fact that you're presenting an image that tells me you're fat and lazy and you don't give a damn. Why the fuck would I want to be with that? That'd be like the same thing as me just being a bum and you being like, I guess that's fine. I'll date that. Does it even make sense? Medically. It doesn't even make sense. We all know that. Quit lying to everybody. Fuck. Body positivity. You know what's body positivity? You thinking that you are worth it to build yourself up. Because you are. And you can do it. You can do it. Everyone can do it. Everyone has an alpha inside of them. At least the men, you have an alpha inside of you. Women, you have an ultimate woman inside of you, I promise. The ultimate woman is right inside of you. You just have to dig her out. You have to manifest it. And I'm not saying with your mind, physically. You have to use your mind to use your hands to manifest it in the world. Because the only way to manifest things is to let time pass. But if you just let time pass without doing anything, time's just going to pass. You have to physically do something too within the framework of this universe. That's how you manifest. It's not easy, but it is simple. Do whatever it takes to stay motivated. We need to be hot for each other, okay? I'm going off on tangents or whatever. But everybody gets my point. Loyalty isn't just demanded. It's created through you doing stuff. Whatever you're putting out there, you're gonna get back. And if you don't get it back from the right person, then move on. If you're not getting it from that person, then they're not even in the same reality as you probably, right? They're not living the same one at least. Move on. Find something else. Don't try to change them. You can try. But the way that women, y'all go around trying to demand shit like that, don't work. I'm going off the rails a little bit. Y'all kind of get my point. I'm getting tired because I've recorded this 4 fucking times. But yeah, Andrew Tate, all you guys, I'm telling y'all are doing it wrong because what's your point? What are you getting at? I mean, because it just seems like contempt. Y'all don't seem to, I would never tell y'all to stop doing what you're doing. Right? But I would ask you, what's your goal? Because if your goal is money, then bravo. That seems pretty shallow though. But if your goal is to save souls and money, I mean, the money will come because you're saving the souls, but your tact is awful. And I know, Andrew Tate, you're doing it on purpose. You've already said so. All right, whatever. You're just trying to make money. Fine. But then, Myron, I don't even understand what your goal is anymore. Because you're saving men, but you're repelling women. You're only fixing half the problem, really. But then again, you're not even teaching men everything. You're not teaching them sexual discipline. You're actually speaking against that, from what I can tell. That's not good for anybody. I mean, put it this way. Why would you want to cheat on a woman that you love, right? Because imagine what she'll look like on the other side. She's going to be embarrassed. She's going to be resentful. She's going to be disrespectful. She's going to be crushed, dude. If she really is a good girl who's sensitive and innocent, right? She's going to be so crushed. You're going to make her cry so hard that she may never be the same again, and you won't either. Because that's how bad you'll feel. And if you don't, you're a sociopath. Or a psychopath that doesn't feel anything anyway. Guys, y'all are missing a huge piece of the conversation. Here I am. You're welcome. Please subscribe. Please join my Patreon. I want to get this legit. Like, let's get this going for real because I have a lot to give, and this is just the tip of my iceberg. It's like breathing for me. I don't have to write any of this shit down. It's all in my head. Myron, you gave me a couple pieces that were missing. Andrew Tate, you did too. But I'm going to try to give some pieces back to you then that you're missing. All right? Pearly, you keep doing your thing, but you just try to focus more on some sexual discipline too. And just remember, everybody, saying she's for the streets is like saying he's for the basement. It's not true. At all. Become the best version of yourself. It's inside of you. You can do it. I'm doing it right now. We'll show you more on that later.